If I could have dinner with anybody dead or alive, hands down, I would pick Malcolm X. He's been such an inspiration to me. Just the fact that he came out of an era where everybody else was turning the cheek, and he's like, "Fuck turning the cheek." I respect that so much. I respect the discomfort that he must have felt every day of his life for bucking the system. Today we can't look at Malcolm and Martin from today's eyes, right? It's not fair. We have to look at the context of what was around them and see how difficult it had to be for him to buck the system and say, no more. And I think if we could talk about anything, I would just want to talk about his life and where he was headed, because he died before his time. He died before he could really start enacting his goals. Like once he went to Mecca and he saw that oppressed people were not just people of color, that oppressed people were just oppressed people. And he really started to take it from, it went from Harlem to the US to the world. And I would love to know what his plan was and where he was going to take it next, because I'm sure he would have made a tremendous difference. I totally understand why he was taken out. He was absolutely a threat, and it breaks my heart that happened, because I think he would have changed the world. Same with Tupac. I think he would have changed the world. My biggest concern about where America is going, I have two concerns about where America is going. We're so divided. First of all, there needs to be more than two political parties, because two is just not enough. Like, I don't agree with either side. They're both fucked up. And it's so divided. Like, everything is political now, like we base everything on hate and anger instead of trying to hear people out. We look at news outlets, whether they're based left-leaning or right-leaning. Like, you can't even get your news without politics, And it's so problematic. And then the second biggest problem is the level of violence with the youth. Like, it was bad when I was coming up. Like, I was coming up in an era where people stopped fist fighting and just pulled out a gun and started shooting. But now there's just nobody cares about conflict resolution anymore. It's just, what? Fuck you. Bam, you're dead. And the punishment has to fit the crime. Like, somebody can't disagree with you and get shot in the head. Somebody can't scuff a shoe and get shot in the head. Somebody can't fuck somebody that you used to fuck 10 years ago and get shot in the head. It's just, it doesn't make sense. And we just seem to have violence as an answer for everything. And I'm not anti-violent. I've got a gun collection of 17 guns, so I'm not anti-gun. Actually, 18 guns. I have a little blue one that's cute. I'm not anti-gun. I'm anti-stupidity. I just feel like we don't resolve conflict anymore. We just react. Everything's so emotional. And we're living in a society based on hate instead of on love and acceptance. And, I feel like a 1960s hippie saying that, but I just feel like, can't we all just get along? Fuck. We need to find common ground. We need to get along. And we certainly need more than two political parties, because I think if we had more parties, we would see how many people would leave the extremes. And right now it just feels like everybody's on one side or the other. So if we had more sides, it wouldn't be as divided. We would see the gray areas in between. And I'd love that. I would love to see that. I think in order to stop some of the violence that's going on, people need conflict resolution skills. It's the number one reason. Like, when you look at why people are dying, like when you really dive in to understand what caused the violence, it's because opposing sides couldn't resolve whatever issue they were having with each other. They couldn't come together at common ground. It was, you have violated so badly that you have to die. And, when I was coming up, people died over, stealing large amounts of money. If you rape my sister or my mother, you're going to die. I could understand that. I get that. What I don't understand is when two guys are having an argument and somebody has to die because they don't agree with the other person. That's where it's like, woohoo to me, And I just feel like there needs to be more conflict resolution skills. We're losing an awful lot of black and brown people under the age of 25 to senseless violence. Like a lot of kids that are going to war with each other don't even remember what started the argument. That's not grounds for killing somebody. If you can't remember why you're mad, maybe you shouldn't be shooting at them. I just think that I'm not sure what the solution is, but somebody better come up with it pretty damn quick, because there's a lot of kids dying.